Question number 2. Why Ramana Maharshi encouraged practice of self-inquiry more than any other practice? 1. Because there is no alternative. 2nd, because he is the most compassionate saint ever born on earth. He became enlightened in 20 minutes by doing self-inquiry during his death experience at the age of 16. It never happened to anybody before in the whole history of mankind. So he knows that self-inquiry is the direct method for self-realization, and how in the fire of awareness ego mist evaporates and dissolves. He does not want to trouble the genuine truth seekers by advising other arduous and spiritual disciplines. Chang Chu said, "Easy is right, and right is easy." This applies to self-inquiry, in which there is no need for any self-torture in the name of spiritual discipline. Some of the methods are like man trying to get rid of his own shadow by running away from it. And more you run away, with the same momentum, the shadow follows naturally. In self-inquiry, we don't run away from the shadow, but we reach the real by identifying the source of the shadow. So we don't condemn the shadow, but we will have a close look at it with heightened awareness and find the origin of it, which is the ultimate reality. Many try to escape from the shadow in the name of spirituality, but shadow follows you wherever you go. All religions are thought-based, and so they are progeny of ignorance. So they can never transform your mind. In fact, they create more hurdles for discovery of truth by their complicated rituals and philosophies. The present status of human society is the evidence that religions fail to transform the man. Psychological insecurity starts the moment consciousness starts identifying with the non-self, like body-mind complex. That is why Ramana Maharshi gave importance to the annihilation of I thought, because I thought identifies with body-mind complex, resulting in a limited compound complex called the ego. The ego wants to hide its psychological insecurity by belonging to some organized religion. Under the illusion that it provides psychological security. So religion is a psychological necessity of the ego. To hide its ignorance. So there are many religions. Some are predominantly ignorance-based, some are predominantly fear-based, some are predominantly greed-based, some are predominantly logic and calculative-based. But all are pseudo-religions, and they perpetuate ego rather than annihilating it. Ignorance-based religion avoids reality. That is fundamental. Seeing the transiency of life and afraid of the fact and to gain certainty at psychological level, people following such religions become madly stubborn and fanatic. They are intolerant to other religions and do not listen or read to the scriptures of other religions. They feel theirs is the only real religion on earth. For an unbiased observer, such religion looks stupid. It's a religion just in name. Unfortunately, all of us are forcibly conditioned to such religion, though names vary. In long run, belonging to such religion is harmful and destructive. In fear-based religions, the subjectivity of the worshipper is projected neurotically on the image he worships. Because of his fear, he lives a life of repression. And repression is not the way towards freedom. In real religion, we become fearless. In this type of religion, the devotee is always fearful of hell, which is a projected other world. Greed-oriented religions are based on the concept that if you sacrifice the present life, you will be rewarded in the heaven. It is ritualistic, formal, ambitious, desire-oriented, ritualistic. The devotee is basically worldly, the other world is his. Projection to fulfill his desires, ambitions, and power. Some invest their life in this type of religion with disastrous consequences. In religion of logic and calculation, which is basically theoretical, intellectual, scriptural, traditional, worldly, and materialistic. It is highly appealing to the learned mob, who are usually called intellectuals. They are parrots repeating the words of great people, not knowing the import of them. All these four religions are egoistic and so thought-based, and so religions. Knowing all this, Ramana Maharshi prescribed self-inquiry, which is a scientific investigation into the inner reality. The self-inquiry is the basis for real religions. Here, you have to travel on your own, alone, because nobody can investigate your inner for you. In pseudo religions, You are a part of not participating in entertainment in the name of religion. In self-inquiry, when we start negating the things imposed on our consciousness by the society, we come to know that our nature is pure consciousness. We are born as tabula rasa at birth, but the child is aware of it, and child is ignorant. If we can negate the conditioning, we will know our nature is tabula rasa in full awareness. The negating of conditioning out of understanding is real discipline, and responding from consciousness is maturity and is religiosity. Responding from ego is a reaction, and it is immature. Just by belonging to a particular religion, you are not religious. This is fundamental. Religiosity is not that cheap. Only men without understanding belong to certain organizations, ideologies, concepts, beliefs, which are blind, and respond from the fixed point. But life is a flow, it's a rivering. And what is the fun of responding from the dead past? When you respond to the present from the past memories, it results in conflict. That continuous response from the past to the present life from a fixed point results in a continuous conflict, and that continuous conflict is called ego, and we are identified with that. Ego is a mist that is formed during interaction between you and the other. When we see things through that mist, things look distorted. So ego is a psychological immaturity. Self-inquiry helps the mist of ego to evaporate, and then we start looking things as they really are. Awareness is the viper that wipes out the ego mist. As awareness is heightened and our action is complete, the ego mist stops rising. The ego mist is the result of incomplete action born out of unawareness of self-activity. If we can set aside that ego by going beyond it, and start learning to respond to the present spontaneously without responding to the mist of the ego, then we know what it means to live. Unless you go beyond the mist of thought, unless you go beyond illusions which pseudo religions offer, you cannot discover the reality. Self-inquiry is a quantum leap from mind to no mind, thought to thoughtless being, known to unknowable. So it is only for those who risk the known for the unknowable, who want to know the truth at any cost. And in the process, they wean away from responding from their ego. This is religiousness which is interwoven with existence. And so these religions are real and they are tuned with the existence.